This is the Momentum Podcast.
It's with a ton of excitement that I am recording this podcast because this is the introduction to me going back and doing something that so many people have asked me to do. I introduced the entrepreneurial personality type content into the market in 2015 at Genius Network with Joe Polish, and almost immediately people were telling me they needed more, they wanted to understand more, they identified with the entrepreneurial personality type, and it had changed their lives just listening to that presentation. That might sound like an exaggeration, but I can tell you that figuring out the entrepreneurial personality type and giving the presentation I gave at Genius changed my life. And for years, people have been asking me to go back to the very beginning of the podcast and re-record the entrepreneurial personality type episodes. I know recently I've been very heavy on operations because that's what we do, but I also think this is crucially important content for anybody who's an entrepreneur to understand and to be able to create more momentum in our lives, to understand ourselves better, to move things forward, to understand how we react to the world as entrepreneurs. And my goal is to share this with you with gratitude and with excitement and with everything that I've learned since I first introduced this all the way back in 2015. I'm excited to share this with you.
I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future. And instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be.
Beginning this week and going all the way through the week of Thanksgiving, I'm going to be re-recording the original podcast on the entrepreneurial personality type content. And I'm so excited about this because I feel like the EPT didn't come from me, it came through me. And this concept of the evolutionary hunter, when I finally figured it out, it made everything in my life make sense. Let me share with you a little bit. You know, I was a very different kid. In fact, I shouldn't even be here recording this podcast with you right now. I was born in 1972 at the ABC Hospital in Mexico City, Mexico. From all appearances, I was a healthy little boy, but I almost immediately started losing body weight and couldn't keep food down. It was tremendous fear for my parents and struggle for my mom and dad, and created a tremendous amount of anxiety and pain in their lives that within the first few days of me being alive, I lost a ton of weight. And within the first couple weeks, I was at half of my birth weight. I was at the point where a priest had been called in to give me my last rites. I was raised Catholic when I was younger, and as the story goes, a doctor who was working at the ABC hospital came in the day that they thought I would no longer be on this earth. It's kind of hard to even say that about yourself. And had an idea. He thought that the issue with me keeping food down could be that I had a thing called pyloric stenosis, a deformation in the pyloric valve in the stomach that it does not allow food to stay in your stomach. So they stopped giving me last rites. They rushed me into an operating theater and did an emergency surgery that saved my life. And that's why I'm here with you today. Through research and contemplation and understanding what's going on and understanding why I'm so sensitive in the world today, what I've discovered is that open cavity abdominal surgery was done without anesthesia. So this thing that saved my life also caused some challenges and some issues in my life, in that for my entire life, every time I'm around medical people, I have gotten a huge increase in blood pressure, increase in heart rate, anxiety. And I didn't understand this for all my life until recently. And In the Latin American area, Latin American countries, they didn't really start using anesthesia on babies until the 80s. In the United States, we didn't do it till the 90s. In Latin America, till the mid 80s in the United States. And so I know that now that's part of the reason why I carry so much extra tone, why I'm stiff, why my nervous system has been dysregulated for most of my life, but now it's moving in the right direction. And I've been able to calm some of those feelings. And every once in a while, when I'm in a medical situation, I can actually report a normal heart rate, or I can actually test for a normal heart rate and normal blood pressure. Sometimes. It's still taking a lot to get over this. And I share this with you because I think all of us have sensitivities and have triggers and have things that have happened to us throughout our lives that when we understand them better, when we understand ourselves better, we understand the present day better, we can become more embodied. We can understand what's going on with us. We can find solutions for us. And for me, figuring this out has been a revelation. It's helped me move in the direction that I need to move to be more present, more embodied, and more aware as a human being. And when I first started sharing the entrepreneurial personality type content way back in 2015, what I was really sharing was a manifesto about who we are as entrepreneurs, a manifesto about why we do what we do, a manifesto about why our behaviors can look so incongruent sometimes. And in this series of podcasts, I want to take you back through the EPT content, but with a major difference. I want to share with you what I've learned over the past 8 years. I want to share with you why one of my neighbors uses the entrepreneurial personality type book and the evolutionary hunter concept as the basis for a support group that she has for parents with kids who are really different. I want to share with you how understanding that as evolutionary hunters, as these people who are completely wired differently, my definition of the entrepreneurial personality type evolutionary hunter is that we are physiologically sensitive, momentum-based beings that are highly reactive to constraint. And I want to share with you why this wiring changes how we react in the world and why it makes us so incredibly talented. But at the same time, on the flip of a coin, when pressure and noise gets too high in our lives, can make us look symptomatic, can make us look troubled, can make us look like we need help, to make us look like we need rescuing. And I want to share with you how I've taken this concept of the entrepreneurial personality type and the unique attributes that we have, and how each of those attributes has activities that you can do to unlock the power behind our personality. Because so much of who we are as entrepreneurs, as entrepreneurial personality types, has been suppressed because we have very sensitive, momentum-based nervous systems. And suppression happens, trauma happens, challenges happen, like that surgery that I had as a child. Such a double-edged sword. It saved my life, but it also set me up for a lifetime of tension and pain and stress and anxiety, and understanding it has helped me move through it. And as entrepreneurs, the more we understand about ourselves, the more power we have. The more we understand who we are, the more we can move forward. And the more that we have keystone habits. Here's how I define a keystone habit. It's a habit that when you put it into your life, when you start to practice that habit, it makes everything in your life better. Everything. And I'm going to share those awarenesses with you. I'm going to share the learning with you that has come from 8 years of sharing this content in front of hundreds of thousands of people and getting thousands of people's feedback and information, and helping the members of our membership in Simple Operations not just simplify their businesses, not just simplify operations, not just grow like crazy, many from 7 to 8 figures to multiple 8 figures, but also to come into who they are, to understand who they are, to change the way that they are in the world. When I look at what we do as a company, we help visionary entrepreneurs who by definition have a hard time feeling fully seen and fully heard. As visionaries, we see this perfect future. It's so compelling. It's so exciting, but we have a hard time translating that to the world around us. And that's exactly what we help visionaries do, so that they can build a team, so that they can get the protection around their strengths and support everywhere else, so that they can get out of the day-to-day and have the freedom to go out and dream and create solutions and make things happen and change the world around us. Because, man, does the world need changing right now. There's a lot of talk of a coming crisis. There's challenges and conflicts around the world. There's issues with almost everything that you look at. But here's what I know. Here's what I believe. Here's what every cell in my body has come to be aware of, is that it doesn't matter what's going on in the world today. Someone like you and me, a visionary entrepreneur, a creator, a problem solver, someone with unique sensitivities and unique attributes is going to look at the issue that we are dealing with, figure out a way to solve it, get that solution into momentum, and take the world with us. And I know you can do this. I can do this. We all can. That's why I'm so excited to share these next podcasts with you, this series with you twice a week for the next 4 weeks. I'm excited to reveal to you more of the entrepreneurial personality type revisited in an updated form, the evolutionary hunter with what I know now compared to what I know when I first discovered this. I can't wait to share it with you. And at the end of this series, I'm going to be taking a small group of entrepreneurs through our personal operating system frameworks to help you get clear on what you want and stop procrastination and get into momentum and have clear prioritization in your lives. Because here's what I know about us as entrepreneurial personality types. When we are clear on our next steps, when we are clear on our destination, when we have a scoreboard in place that shows us we're making progress, when we know what we're doing, we put the pedal to the floor and change the world. We change our lives. We change ourselves. But if we're missing any of those things, oftentimes we fall victim. We fall challenged to things like procrastination, or having a hard time getting started, or plateauing, or having a never-ending to-do list, or not making progress, or putting out so much effort but not really moving forward. You can hear it in our language. People say things like, I'm spinning my wheels, but I'm going nowhere. And if you're in that place where you are feeling any of these issues, I want to help you personally. I'm going to take a small group of individuals through our frameworks, beginning at the end of November and going into next year. And if you're interested, you can go join the wait list right now by going to sharfin.com, my last name, sharfin.com/Black Friday. And this is going to be an opportunity that anyone has access to. We are making this incredibly accessible, incredibly affordable, and incredibly effective to help you get clear, get into momentum, and stay there. I would love to work with you personally. Go to sharfin.com/Black Friday and give us your information. We'll make sure that you're one of the first people to hear when this comes out. And I hope you enjoy following along as I revisit the evolutionary hunter, the entrepreneurial personality type, and give you an update on this information, this content, this framework that has changed my life and changed so many entrepreneurs' lives. I can't wait to share it with you. Go to sharfin.com/Black Friday. I look forward to helping you personally get into massive momentum and have a framework to get there anytime you want.